You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hey, good evening, and thank you for joining us for DC News Now. I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Ben Dennis. Susan Tran and Chris Flanagan have the night off. Right now, federal agents are on patrol across the district. Today, President Trump said that they will be on active 24-hour duty along with the National Guard.
And we have new video tonight. ICE posting this on their agents and U.S. Park Police patrolling the National Mall today.
Yeah, the U.S. Marshal Service posting these photos to social media as well of their agents in the district last night. Some of them walking alongside D.C. police at one point, looking inside of someone's car. And some of the first sights and sounds of agents and National Guard members were from the National Mall. Now, we know that this is not where violent crime is concentrated, at least historically.
Right. Max Marcella joins us live from Columbia Heights. Max, you spent the day and now the evening in different D.C. neighborhoods. What have you noticed?
That's right. Now, we know the operations have mostly been going on in the evening, but we went around different parts of D.C. to see kind of what's been going on in the afternoon, now into the evening and nighttime hours. And really, we haven't seen too much federal activity. We've been going to areas where we know that violent crime has happened, areas including something like Benning Road in the east of the river, then areas like this, Columbia Heights, where MPD says there are some robberies. So these are the areas that we've gone to, and we have not seen any federal force, but again, the White House says more could come tonight.
What we want to do is make Washington, D.C. the greatest, most beautiful, safest capital anywhere in the world, and that's going to happen.
It's day 3 of President Trump's crackdown on violent crime in the district.
And the numbers are worse than they ever are. Don't let anyone tell you they're not.
Violent crime is decreasing in the city and did in 2024 as well. Even still, efforts to stop it are ramping up. According to a White House source, a significantly higher National Guard presence will be on the ground starting Wednesday night, and all operations will transition to a 24/7 operating status. So far, federal agents have been photographed primarily at night, including on the National Mall and Georgetown, where violent crime is a rarity, but also in areas including Columbia Heights, a hotspot for violent crime, mostly robberies. Hannah Brous lives in the area and is passing out Know Your Rights cards. She's calling out the White House's strategy.
I work in the neighborhood. I work with kids and families, and a lot of my families aren't safe to leave their houses. ICE is patrolling the metro, the stores, the daycares that I work in.
There's a tension on what the overnight hours will look like in the district. But Thursday morning, people living in these encampments can expect to be clear.
If they come here and take this away from me, I'm saying I'm gonna be messed up. I'm saying I ain't got nowhere to go.
So just to reiterate kind of what we've seen out here in Columbia Heights, really hasn't felt much different than any regular day. We have seen some MPD officers, some in their cars, some doing enforcement, but that, doesn't appear much different from what they would do on a normal day. But again, we know that the White House says it'll ramp up tonight. We did get reports of people in the late evening, early morning hours last night. So we'll keep an eye on it as we head from day 3 into day 4 of the DC takeover. Reporting live in Northwest, Max Marcella, DC News Now.
All right, Max, thank you. And again, federal agents in the National Guard, they continue to patrol, and we're learning more about recent arrests, Ben.
Indeed, that includes the man caught on camera hurling a sandwich at a federal agent. This happened on U Street Sunday night, and court documents say that Sean Charles Dunn threw a sub-style sandwich at the agent's chest. Police say Dunn tried to run away, but he was arrested on a federal assault charge.
Meanwhile, more than 100 arrests have been made since last Thursday, even before the president formally deployed the Guard this week. They say the 24 guns have been seized. 23 undocumented immigrants are facing charges.
Meantime, Mayor Muriel Bowser is re-upping those calls for statehood, given President Trump's so-called takeover of the D.C. Police Department.
And the president, no surprise, been firing back at the mayor's latest push for statehood. D.C. News Now's Mariel Carbone tells us that he's calling the notion ridiculous.
Yeah, the battle for statehood is more real than ever for a lot of people who believe that D.C. taxpayers should have the right to govern themselves. Now, the president today calling this ridiculous as the mayor encourages neighborhood leaders to keep stepping up. As hundreds of National Guard members and federal agents descend on D.C., Mayor Muriel Bowser giving this message to community leaders.
We all need to do what we can in our space, in our lane, to protect our autonomy, to protect our home rule.
It's a directive many advisory neighborhood commissioners are already following.
We're working behind the scenes, promoting and supporting our individuals.
Tiffany Nicole Johnson is the ANC in Manor Park.
There is an abundance of fear.
Her commission is working to relay important information safely, but she says planning its next public meeting has been challenging.
We can't publicize that meeting because we're fearful that ICE or some other federal entity is monitoring our chats, monitoring our meetings, and could show up.
The only path forward in her eyes is statehood.
We have to stand firm.
Statehood is ridiculous.
Wednesday, President Trump rebuking that notion.
It's not going to happen.
It's hypocritical thinking when we keep talking about freedom.
Edward Daniels is an ANC in Navy Yard.
There are a lot of us that are working our butts off in this city.
Including right now.
We are doing our best to keep residents informed and safe and protected because this is an unprecedented time.
While encouraging neighbors to share what's actually happening on the ground during this federal takeover.
When someone steps up and says that you can't walk down the street without bullets, flying at you, people are going to believe that, unfortunately, and that's not the case of what's happening in our city.
Daniels and Johnson, they are encouraging people to reach out to their ANCs with any concerns or questions. And we know that the mayor's office is also working on a one-pager, a flyer of sorts that lays out important information that people might need to know, like their rights and who to contact if they have any complaints. Reporting in Northwest D.C., I'm Marielle Carbone, D.C. News Now.
All right, thanks to Marielle. Meantime, today, the president told reporters at the Kennedy Center he will ask Congress to extend the takeover of D.C. police beyond that 30-day cap that is enshrined in D.C.'s home rule. Congress, though, must pass a joint resolution to make that extension happen.
We're going to be asking for extensions on that, long-term extensions, because you can't have 30 days. 30 days that's by the time you do it. We're going to have this in good shape.
The president also saying that he's aiming to go before Congress with a crime bill that will pertain initially to D.C. Mayor Bowser calls the move an authoritarian push by the White House. And in the next half hour, hear from a Howard University professor about if Congress may approve a D.C. crime bill and what it would mean for residents.
All right, let's get a quick check on our forecast with meteorologist Damon Madsen, who's in for chief meteorologist Jackie Lair.
Damon, it was a little wet for some of us out there today, but it seems to be off into the distance right now.
Yeah, all in all, the rainfall didn't cause us too much harm. Yeah, a little soggy, a little active out there, but not too bad. And we're looking good as we head now into the night and on toward our Thursday. Folks, the radar loop still showing some activity, but that's well north and east of the DMV. You have to go up toward the Philadelphia area to really find any sort of steadier rain still out there. Nothing else is really moving through the DMV. That's just a little bit of radar interference here, bubbling up with how warm and humid it is out there tonight. But that's it. We don't really have any other showers on the way as we head into those later overnight hours. Now, temperature-wise, we saw a significant drop and a cool down whenever the rain started earlier this afternoon, but we've held steady since, and now it's going to stay warm in the middle to upper 70s as we head throughout the next several hours through the middle of the night. And that's going to be the common theme as we start out the day on Thursday. Yes, even though we had some rainfall, a few storms rolling through, and there is a front slowly passing through the area as well, we will wake up tomorrow morning to warm, muggy conditions with patchy fog in the mix once again. But as we head later in the day on Thursday, should we expect more clearing, or will there be more rain on tap? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
Looking forward to it, Damon. Thank you. All new tonight in Maryland, Laurel police are investigating a double stabbing that happened last night. A 51-year-old father and his 20-year-old son, they're in the hospital after investigators allege their roommate stabbed them both.
And DC News Now's Tim Reed. He has reaction from the neighborhood.
This is where the deadly stabbing happened Tuesday night here in this Laurel community. One man was killed and another man was taken to the hospital for treatment. People who live here tell us they are stunned that this happened in their neighborhood.
The fact that this just happened so close is you really gotta be more careful, really gotta be more vigilant, and it really opens your eyes a lot.
Residents living in the Laurel Oak subdivision cannot believe two of their neighbors were violently stabbed Tuesday night.
My blessing, my prayers to the families and stuff and everybody, the whole neighborhood that's affected by this, because this is something that's really going to change the perspective of this neighborhood and just the area in general. So.
Officers were called to the neighborhood around 9:30 p.m. They found two men lying in the street. The victims were father and son. 51-year-old Terrence Smith died, and his son, 20-year-old Aiden Smith, was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Their roommate, 34-year-old Kevin Green, was arrested and charged with murder.
It's sad because it didn't need to happen. Someone that had a mental health issue, for whatever reason, they got upset and decided to attack two people. One of them died.
Police are trying to figure out why the suspect attacked the two men he was living with.
The son actually watched his dad die, while they were working on him. The EMTs were here, and it's just sad. It's a great neighborhood. It's quiet.
Authorities are investigating this case and are asking anyone with information to call Laurel Police. In Prince George's County, Tim Reed, DC News Now.
Concerning and tragic stuff, Tim, thank you. Also developing right now, but in Virginia, Governor Glenn Youngkin is directing state police to investigate alleged school-funded abortions in Fairfax County.
And the governor's office says that a report was published by school staff members and allegedly facilitated minors to get abortions without parental consent. They also say that school officials may have arranged and paid for the abortions and that the school administration may have known that it was happening. And potentially using school funding, Virginia State Police will be opening an investigation. We reached out to Fairfax County Public Schools for comment, but we have not heard back. And speeding cameras are coming to some Leesburg school zones, and police say that the school safety zone program starts on August 21st, and there will be a 30-day grace period. Then violators will get a warning. People caught speeding will start to receive $100 fines. That begins September 22nd. You can find the list of spots the cameras will be added on our website, dcnewsnow.com.
Well, DC News Now is your local election headquarters, and after a contentious start to the election season in Virginia, it appears the Republican Party is unified headed into November. The Republican nominee for Lieutenant Governor John Reed and gubernatorial nominee Winsome Earl Sears appeared on the radio together last night. Governor Youngkin, though, campaigned with Reed. The joint appearance came months after Youngkin reportedly suggested Reed drop out of the race over allegations he was linked to an online profile with sexually explicit images. Reed denies it, but now the entire GOP ticket held a unity rally.
They have no chance to win if they're not unified themselves. What kind of image does that project to the voters? If they can't get their own act together, they can't be unified as a party. So this was inevitable. And what's really significant is it's taken so long to happen, but it is happening.
Winsome Earl Sears, of course, the current lieutenant governor, hinted that there could be more joint campaign rallies with Reed in the near future. And in that race for governor, Democrat Abigail Spanberger getting an endorsement from the Virginia Police Benevolent Association. Her opponent, current Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears, won that endorsement in 2021, but the group is still backing Republican Jason Miyares for Attorney General and Republican John Reed for Lieutenant Governor. The labor union represents nearly 11,000 law enforcement officers in the Commonwealth.